Oh, nope, it's waiting to upload video to storage. Gonna take a minute on YouTube, it looks like. Or is that Rumble that's taking its minute? Okay, it says we're live.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, February 19th at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you can tell, I'm pretty wound up.
We all
And
are
if
right
I
now.
could,
Whew.
yeah, if I could, it would be do 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 do
It's
do
been 30
do
minutes.
Yeah,
do
I wish I had
breaking
time to grab
news.
that video. I really
Yeah,
wish I had time.
It's been 30 minutes since I
yeah,
used
breaking news.
mouthwash.
Breaking news. Crazy B, take it away.
So we have some interesting things going on this morning. Former Prince Andrew arrested. What the fudge? That's our big one. And then a little bit later, we have a current event that is trying to erase history that we will be covering after this.
Surely this will lead to other people getting arrested.
I pray it leads to
Nope.
other people getting arrested, my dear. I
I'm
really
yeah,
pray. And
I'm
we do
very,
not
very
have notifications going out. Why do we not have a notification going out? What is going
okay.
on? Hold on. Why is YouTube claiming we are? Let me see if we're live. There it is. There it is. Okay. No, it's not even YouTube that pushed it. Oh my god, I gotta go grab the link from my stream port on my server because YouTube and Carlbot decided we don't need to be important. So ignore the information. Hold on one second. Let me go drop this over here. Paste. I
So do
apologize.
we
Dee,
need
go ahead while I get this taken care of.
okay, so uh yeah, so I'm supposed to be sleeping right now when I saw that I had two missed calls from Crazy B. Uh, as everybody knows, Jacob had to sleep over because there was a parent teacher conference. So they had to bring the brat down, and I did not have my cell phone. So I get back and I see the calls that I missed, and I'm like, that's weird because she never calls like repeatedly. And I'm like, something's up. And she's like, "Oh, did you hear the news?" I'm like, "No, what news?" And why is it that, the one day I don't have my cell phone, stuff is going on? And
Because.
yeah, because it can, right? So instead of dropping a pre recorded video, we decided we were going to do this as a pre record. And then I said, hell with it. Let's just go live and we'll see if anybody's going to join us this morning. If you can, you can. If you
If you
don't, well,
can't,
at least
it's all right.
yeah, and at least you'll have a new video to look at
Yup.
instead of one of the older ones. So when we're done with this, Crazy Bee's going to drop it immediately, and so you can look at it throughout the day.
Oh no, it automatically goes to the video on demand thing afterwards.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep, we don't have
So
to do
we're
anything special.
so I'm probably going to get Prince Andrew, and I still call him Prince Charles. I don't know. I mean,
It's
one
after
in my
50 years of Prince Charles.
yes, it's hard to say King Charles, and in my opinion, he's not a king because I think I still hold it against him what he did to Princess Diana. So,
Oh yeah,
you
he
know,
was an asshole.
and Camilla, I will never call her the Q word. So, because she's
Yup.
the one that broke them up. I mean, he couldn't stand up to his mother and marry the one that he loved to begin with. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
That's a whole nother story in of itself. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they got married the year before we did, so I don't know. I remember working and when that event took place, everybody stopped in the office, including the men, to watch their wedding. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a sad thing that happened to her, and
Oh
just goes to
yeah.
show you, I think everybody's human and you can't escape life. You know what I mean? Even
Exactly.
if you're a royal or you're the president or, an athlete or whatever. So, but
Yep.
so if I get them mixed up, Crazy B, just I don't know.
I'll do
Cause
my
it will
best.
all right, keep us on track. All right,
Yeah.
so first up, we have an article that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office over his ties to who, Crazy B?
Epstein. But America
Wow.
still holds. Wait a minute. There were no confirmed people. Well, there were no confirmed conspirators. We heard Cash Patel preaching that since
Yeah,
he took the
since
head
he
of the
got in office.
FBI.
Yeah, and what did Pam Bondi have to say about it? Did she agree or
There is
disagree?
no proof that anybody else was there. Epstein acted alone, was her stance as well.
I was there.
Stop it. I'm going to wring my
I
son's neck.
I wonder if Prince
Why did
Andrew,
Britain feel there was enough proof?
Well,
right?
I mean,
And do
they
you think that
already, they
Buddy,
just,
buddy, come on. We're trying to
whatever.
get through this quickly.
Dingus.
Sorry. Go ahead.
you're okay? Do you think that Prince Andrew knows anything about any Americans
Oh, I'm sure
being
he
there?
does. Oh, I'm sure. I am absolutely 100% sure he does.
So do you think he'll throw them under the bus?
Unfortunately, no. I don't think he does. I don't think he will.
Uh-huh. My my take
Otherwise,
on
he's
this,
going to get Epsteined in the jail he's in, no matter who he is. Hillary Clinton will find a way to him.
oh, hold on one second. Oh shit.
What?
The Jake's school district is informing us that a plastic 3D printed knife was observed in the possession of a student in his school.
Oh my God.
What the frick? Are you kidding me? And it's a new requirement by Pennsylvania law that any time that any weapons are found, parents will be notified.
Well, no
Wow.
shit. How is that new by law? It's common sense.
EJ. Okay. Oh, that's Eric. The baby went home and I'm live right now.
Emergency live.
Yeah, emergency live. Prince Andrew was arrested for the Epstein. And I just got a thing from Jake's school that they found a 3D printed knife from his school.
On a
Yeah.
student.
Yeah, on a student. Brought a 3D printed knife to school. Wow. That's messed up. I'll have to keep you guys apprised of
How that goes,
they're not
yeah.
gonna yeah, they're not gonna tell us anything obviously, but
Until they
the
do
whole
further
thing,
inquiry and
yeah,
reassure everyone, oh, it's now safe because we're going to
well
get
that's what
even
they're
stricter on things
uh-huh.
instead of, parents being parents and checking their kids' backpack and pockets before they go to school.
You know, what's scary about that situation is what I told you, and I don't even know if we said it on a live or not, but I told you that he got choked by that kid on the
Yes,
bus.
you did.
And he threatened him that if he didn't bring $100, that he was going to choke him out. What
Yeah, that,
if, what if it would have been this kid that had the plastic 3D knife?
uh-huh.
I'm not saying it was him, but I'm
No, but
just
it's the
saying,
what ifs. Yes. And
yeah,
this is why the school needs to do something about the extreme bullying. Like I said, typical teasing, mild name
yeah,
calling, fine.
yeah,
Physical harm and attacks and threats are not
yes, or no,
bullying. It is
right.
assault and battery.
Yeah. This, wow, now I'm messed up. That kind of got me fucked up a little bit, knowing what he's been through on the bullying side and just thinking that that could have been perhaps some kid on the bus. I don't care if it's my kid or not my kid, any kid, and they wanted to potentially harm somebody. They could have did it on the bus, on
Mhm.
recess.
But I
Oh
will
my,
tell you, the kids who get bullied are usually the ones who bring a weapon.
yes, that's true. and
I
that
had been
is
severely bullied, and I'll be honest, I could have gotten in serious trouble, but I found ways to sneak things to school for
mm-hmm,
safety because it was getting out of control.
right.
And the school wasn't doing jack shit to protect me. Hell, they were throwing me in detention with the person who was bullying me.
But mother bullying
Oh my
works.
God,
Yes,
Jesus.
I got punished equally because they never saw them start it. And it was me
Right.
defending myself, and they never believed me that I was defending myself.
Jeez. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. Absolute craziness. All right. I apologize. I just got the text and
No, it's
the
understandable. What's been going on lately? Did you hear about that Rhode Island school where there was that ice shooting? The ice at the ice
no,
rink at the hockey competition?
no.
Yeah,
Why ice?
yeah.
Wow.
Somewhat possible family dispute. I was trying to find more details about it. Led to someone
Oh,
opening fire on a high school
yeah,
competition.
What a
go
retard.
on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm having breakfast, as I told you, which consists of honey flavored corn curls and soda, or pop,
Okay.
as we call it here.
All right.
So,
Do you want me to read while you eat?
yeah, yeah, go ahead. You can do this one and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Um. So I want to hold on. I want to make sure this is actually going through on YouTube. Something seems off. 1 second. Um.
And let me look too.
Okay. Yep. It's going through. It says it's excellent.
Okay.
Okay. It
Okay, cool.
just was. I had a funny feeling it was off. Okay. So, Prince Andrew arrested for suspicion of misconduct in public office over ties to Epstein. Wow. Okay, so Prince Mountbatten of Windsor, the former British prince, was stripped of his royal titles because of his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, was arrested Thursday for his suspicion of misconduct in public office. While Andrew has consistently denied any wrongdoing in connection with his friendship with Epstein, concerns of the his links to the late financier have dogged the royal family for more than a decade. But the arrest of a brother of a monarch was an extraordinary development with no precedent in modern times that will no doubt put more pressure on the crown. Now, they obviously had to suspect or know there was a lot more to it to arrest him. Because
Right.
they've
And why
survived worse suspicions than this shit.
exactly? And why has it taken 10 years? Since he's been stripped of of his title, and he's kind of been low key. And by the way, he was arrested on his birthday, his 66th birthday.
Yes.
Uh,
Which
why, why did it, yeah, why is it taking so long?
burying it, pretending it didn't happen. Now that there's fear of the actual truth coming out, they want to head it off like they punished him before it got released or it was found in the records they've been releasing to America. I mean, I'm at the point where it's like this is a they have to know something in order to take this and not preemptively arrest him and then clear him later. You don't
Right.
do that, especially to royal family.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
But it still makes me wonder, why is America saying, oh, there's no proof of co-conspirators when Britain just arrested one of their own family? The royal
You
family
think,
arrested one of their own.
you think he's going to, so we talked about, you don't think he's going to throw anybody under the bus. Do you think it has to do with the Clintons testifying?
It very well may, yes. The Clintons have been
Hmm.
testifying, and if he does throw anyone else under the bus, the Clintons are going to find a way to get to him like they did everybody else. Oh, jogging, and magically, 2 bullets to the back of the head while tied to a tree.
Yeah.
Or tied to a tree and shot in the chest a bunch of times. Make
After
it make
being
sense.
doused in like honey, feathers,
See,
and
and
with
we
butter.
talked about this last night because you told me that the Clintons were testifying because I said they weren't. And you're like, no, they've been before Congress. I'm like, I've heard jack shit about it, Crazy B.
Yeah,
Nothing. I even,
hold on. Let
I,
me. I'll double check my sources.
yeah, I even said that I have nothing anywhere in any of my sources that the Clintons are testifying. Nothing. And you
Um,
said,
the Clintons
go ahead.
agreed. Um, oh, I'm sorry. They claim it's already going on Forbes, but it's scheduled for February 26th through the 27th. I
Okay.
apologize, but they said it was
Okay.
live Clintons testifying. Um, when I saw the video, like I said, I didn't stop to watch it.
Okay.
But they
Cool.
said it was the
Okay.
Clintons testifying before Congress, and then it just stuck with me that there was a Forbes video labeled that way. And then here they're saying it's not scheduled until the 26th and the 27th. So we
Okay.
will have to pull that stuff as, or do a live coverage of a live coverage.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that because they were scheduled earlier this month and they
Yeah.
didn't. And that's when they were going to get into trouble. They were going to issue a warrant for their arrest
Well, they were
because
going to
they
hold them in
didn't show
contempt
up.
of Congress.
Correct. And so they were supposed to get into trouble for not showing up. And now I guess I didn't know that the date was scheduled for the 26th and
So
27th. So
next
perhaps,
Thursday and Friday,
uh-huh.
and since because we're using OBS and EvMux, we have unlimited stream time.
Okay, cool. I'll just have to
Just
make sure. Yeah, depending on what time it is, I have on the 25th, I have my pre-op physical I got to do.
on the
So we'll do,
25th.
yeah,
Well, this is
is
the
my
26th and the 27th.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So,
I know what
and
you said.
if little guy decides to get disruptive, oh well, we're
We'll just yeah, we'll just do whatever time it is.
I
Um
think that's a good idea because that's something we've been waiting for. But with this coming, I am sure they are being preemptive. I would really
and
say this is preemptive.
uh-huh, because I'm wondering if if Bill Clinton, I guarantee you that the two of them were together. And I bet you any money that the Clintons are going to say, give up people so that perhaps they don't get in trouble. Maybe. I
Uh
don't
huh.
see I don't see the Clintons getting up there and being I watched a video where Hillary is in Munich at that event with the security thing where AOC was that we covered, and they came out and asked her directly about Epstein, and she just I can find that. We can use that next week as well, where
Mm-hmm.
she kind of just circumvents the whole thing and brings up Trump. So they're going to try to, I think, not take any ownership on this, and
Oh,
I'll
of
bet you
course.
they're
Why would they?
uh-huh. All right, go ahead.
Um, well, I mean, it's just basically going into that after the arrest, King Charles III said the law must take its course in this investigation, and he sought to distance the royal family from his, what, brother? It's his brother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's his brother, younger brother.
The Thames Valley Police said the man in his 60s from Norfolk in eastern England was arrested and remained in custody. The
Oh,
force, which
wow.
covers areas west of London, included the Windsor former home. They did not identify the suspect in line with standard procedures in Britain, but pointed to its statement when asked to confirm if Andrew was arrested. Um, he turned 66 on Thursday. This Thursday or next Thursday? They didn't
This
specify.
Thursday.
That means today is Thursday.
Mhm.
Um, he moved into Charles' estate in Norfolk after he was evicted from his longtime home near Windsor Castle earlier this month
Yes, I believe Charles kicked him out.
of
Uh,
the Windsor estate, and
yeah.
then that's why he's staying at the Charles estate.
So I wonder if I'm trying to remember if I know why he did that. I think, hmm, I'll
Well, isn't the
find out.
Windsor estate for crowned family members?
Yes, I believe that's the reason, but I think that William and Kate had something to do with that, if I recall.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
But so this is, or did he do it because they knew it was coming? And the other thing I find extremely fascinating is he's still in custody.
Well, I mean, he
People,
just got arrested this morning.
true, but people were arrested and released for much less, though. Crazy B. I
Yeah, but
mean,
this
look
is
at.
royal family.
I don't know. I mean, with what England is going through and what we see in the US, cripe, you're arrested. We know that you're arrested in the morning and released by lunchtime.
Yeah, but because it's royal family, they gotta set a precedence. Except it's never gonna happen to anybody of the lower levels. Go figure. But,
Right,
I don't know if they'll. I mean, they're doing an investigation. It could be hours of interrogation and asking questions, and they may release him later. They may not. It's kind of all up for grabs.
right. Okay,
And
what
I,
do you got next? Go ahead. Go ahead
um,
before you.
oh, I was going to say it all depends on what their court system is like there. Because I know
True.
sometimes they hold people until a magistrate or judge
Magistrate
can
or
see
whatever.
them
Right,
and then decide what to do.
right,
So
right.
he might be held until later today, tomorrow. We don't know. Because again, I'm not as familiar with their legal system as I am our
Right,
own, and ours is a
right.
joke right
I
now.
know.
So
That's what
there's
I'm.
that.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, we
Okay.
know that on the lower level courts and stuff where they have like the everyday people who commit crimes and they get off and whatever. I know in some cases the courts in London and the UK will hold people until the end of their trial. They're like
Mm-hmm.
imprisoned from day to the beginning to end. It depends on the crime and what's going on. So, um, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. What do you
Um,
got next?
BBC coverage.
Okay.
Let's hit play.
Some breaking news. In the last few minutes, we've had a statement from the King. I'm going to read it to you in full. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all. And that statement has been signed off, Charles R. Well, let's cross live now and speak to our royal correspondent, Helena Wilkinson, who is at Royal Lodge. And Helena, just talk me through, first of all, before we talk about what the King has said in terms of his statement, talk me through what's happening at Royal Lodge today.
Yes, well, the BBC understands that there are searches currently ongoing in Royal Lodge. Let me just step out from in front of the camera. I don't know if you can make out in the distance, basically the gate where we are. This is where we are allowed to
Well, here's the thing.
broadcast
Even though he's
from.
arrested,
Just
no
beyond
guarantee he'll go to jail.
that, you enter into Windsor Great Park. You then get to another gate. I don't know if you can make out some sort of pink houses in the distance. Beyond that gate is Royal Lodge. That is where the former Prince Andrew lived until recently. He lived there for more than 20 years. He moved out of the property about a couple of weeks or so ago up to the Sandringham estate. He moved out under the cover of darkness, and we know that he still, or we understand he still has some belongings here because he was going to come back after he moved out to come back and get some of them. But the BBC understands that the searches are currently ongoing at Royal Lodge. It's a huge property within Windsor Great Park, and just on the other side of the gates that lead to Royal Lodge, that property, we have also seen a number of uniformed police officers. We also understand that they are guarding the scene while those searches are being carried out in Royal Lodge. We also saw a police officer driving in a car through the gates as well. Those searches continuing, and as long as those police officers who we've seen who are guarding that gate, we understand those searches will continue until they have gone. Those searching the property will be looking for various things, of course, computer equipment, laptops, computers, perhaps hard copies as well, while those searches are being carried out. We know that from that statement from Thames Valley Police earlier on today, which confirmed that a man in his 60s, who we know is the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, that he had been arrested. Thames Valley Police also confirmed in that statement that
Do they really think that he was stupid enough to keep any evidence after the last couple of years in the most recent release of Epstein files?
Exactly. I mean, well, people have done stupider things, right? I mean, perhaps he got his jollies off by looking back at his younger days with the chicks. Who knows? You know, because we know there's pictures of him with young girls on the island.
Yes.
We've seen that. So, did he keep them as a souvenir? But I would imagine, but again, people have done stupider things, you know, such as maybe put it in a photo frame and set it on the piano. You never know. I mean, because,
That would
you
be
know,
stupid.
once he divorced Sarah, I don't think, I'm not sure I know if he's tied to anybody or not that I recall. I'm sure, you know, he has you know, somebody that he's seeing or whatever, but once he divorced her, uh, and I'm wondering now, is that the reason for the divorce? Was the Epstein issue?
It's a
Uh,
very high probability.
uh that all was starting to make a connection. You know,
Well,
not.
like Melinda Gates bailing on Bill
Hmm.
after things started to come to light. And then she
Yes.
finds out that he was planning to illegally give her antibiotics for an STD that he picked up. Like,
Yes.
what?
So, wonder if Charles was ever on the island. Did they ever say? Do we know that?
I don't know. I don't think there was ever anything said about him, but
I'm gonna
I'm
do a quick.
not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick Google search. I don't recall ever hearing his name mentioned. Uh. Is there more to the video you want to play?
Oh, yeah, there is. I just wanted to
Okay.
do the quick pause there to
Yeah.
say
Go
what I
ahead.
was thinking.
Oh. Oh. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's what I already said. What I was thinking.
Oh.
What I was
Okay.
wondering.
We're messed up. You can tell we're
This was
live.
very
So,
unexpected, as you guys can tell.
right. And we're usually not on in the morning, so you know this is a down and dirty quickie. So
Yep. All
okay,
right, let
go
me
ahead
hit
and play
play.
the video, and I'll see if he was ever on the island.
Okay.
Helena, I'm going to now take us back to the statement from the King, because we've only just heard that in the last few minutes. It's on the screen for those who want to refresh their memories, but I will just read this part of it. Let me state clearly, the King has said, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. An extraordinary statement from the King, basically telling us that this is the law and the law must take its course.
Well, exactly, and you'll cast your mind back not long ago when the King put out a previous statement saying that they were, or Buckingham Palace rather, said that the palace was standing ready to support Thames Valley Police in any investigation that they needed to be carried out. But an extraordinary development again following the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor earlier today, that statement from the King. We weren't sure, of course, whether the King would say anything, given that this is now obviously a police matter and that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is now under arrest. and is in custody. But the king clearly felt like he had to put something out, that he had to make a statement about his younger brother. In that statement, let me just read you that top bit. The king says that I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. The king goes on to say, what now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue, he goes on to say, by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. And he goes on to say, the king, that they are ready to stand by and wholehearted support and cooperation if that is needed. But clearly the king can only go so far now in terms of what he does say, and we've just seen that in the statement that we've had in the last 10 minutes, that there has to be this police
Okay, I see it.
investigation,
Just came through.
and clearly they won't want to say anything further. Members of the royal family have been out and about on various engagements throughout the week, but you can imagine it will be a very tricky time for the royal family, given the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
Wow. That was informative. And I'm glad we listened to it because, again, they're staying kind of neutral, which is weird.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to me.
Yes. I mean, it seems like it's a setup, an intentional setup. At least to me, it does. Like they probably knew in advance he was going to be arrested.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a coincidence that it's right before the Clintons testify. Is it a coincidence that he was kicked out of the castle, whatever castle?
The royal
Carter,
family.
the
royal family
royal
basically
dome?
disowned him.
Yeah.
Yes, but that was 10 years ago. Why wasn't he kicked out, 10 years ago? Why did they wait till now?
I'm not
there's
sure.
going to be, right, there's going to be, for whatever questions we have or we ask, there's going to be some type of answer that is going to be nothing to see here, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing to see here. You're looking in the wrong direction, kind of thing.
Yeah. And sadly, that is way too common.
Yeah.
And it's kind of becoming expected.
Yes.
And I'm sick of it.
I am
I'm
too.
sick of this kind of stuff.
As you said, why is it that the U.S., Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are saying there's nothing to see here, but England is saying there is something? And Crazy B, if you see that, what I just sent, now that's a down and dirty. This is not confirmed. This is AI generated, asking the question if Charles was ever on the island. And you'll see some comments made on that, Crazy B, if you could pop that up. And again,
unless I have a link, all I got was file data.
I know, I sent something after that. I did the screenshot of it.
Yeah, well, the screenshot's not going to let me see the comments.
Oh no, I meant the screenshot itself. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Pop up, yeah.
Pop
up the screen.
Hold on, it's going to take a second. I gotta. Okay. Oh no, I don't. I can just do this. So, oops,
as we
that's
said, we're
not
live
right.
We're live.
This is what I needed to do. There we go. And let me transfer that over. And there.
Okay. All right. So this is the down and dirty that we've not confirmed all this data. This is from AI, but there are sources, as you can see, from PBS and 6 other sources. So based on available info and the released court documents, now that's curious, what court documents? Is this all from Pam Bondi or is this from the UK? There's no evidence to suggest King Charles ever visited the private island. The royal family member heavily linked to Jeffrey Epstein is Prince Andrew, and he was forced to step down, as we know. And oh, that didn't pop up. That's interesting. Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
it's
Let me
only
get.
going to take a screenshot of what you
Yeah,
sent.
I know. I didn't even realize that. So the key, and I'll send that to you, Crazy B, just so you can drop it in the link. But Prince Andrew stayed at his houses in Palm Beach, New York, and in the Caribbean, the little St. James Island.
Okay.
King Charles distanced himself. He stripped them of his royal titles and his patronage in response to the resurfacing of the allegations made, and there's photos from 2026. Uh, Charles, as we know, supports the police looking at it, and and again, Charles has never been implicated uh,
Yes.
in there, but I don't. Even that I find to be fascinating because why wasn't it a family affair? Like how is it that Andrew is in Palm Beach, New York, Epstein Island, and he's never said a word to Charles? He's
I
never brought
don't
up
know.
he's never brought up Jeffrey Epstein's name to him in all that time.
Evidently not.
Okay, and we know that Charles is a cheater, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just find, hey, I'm just saying, sounds a little fishy to me.
Yeah, it does. I
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
agree.
I just, I mean, I know that stuff goes down in families that you don't tell, but again, I don't know. I'm just calling BS on it, and is, and I still think that Andrew, because he's been so prevalent and in the news from 10 years ago, and remember what a scandal it was for them to have taken away his prince title. Remember all the BS
Yes.
that went on with all of that, right?
Yes.
So he was kind of thrown under the bus then. Is he I think he's going to be the fall guy for all of it.
I do
I think
believe that's a possibility.
yeah. I think he stands a high probability of going to jail.
I kind of hope that's the case
Right?
because I'm sick of people getting away with this shit.
I've never looked at that website. Uh the only reason I know of it was because remember we played that video where who the hell was it? Oh, with AOC and or somebody else where the betting markets, there's a website for like you place bets on all different kind of shit. Like would AOC become president and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I know which one you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
I
I can't
wonder what
remember
the
it.
betting yeah, I wonder what the betting markets have to say about him possibly going to jail because they claim you could bet on anything. We'll have to check that out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And see if what you and I are thinking, does the betting market agree? Because they're
Uh-huh.
usually pretty good at calling that stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a high probability. No, there isn't. But I'm wondering if he's going to be the scapegoat for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But at 60, just turning 66, though, what would be the possible jail time in the US for something? Let's not even say the UK, but if he's convicted, how many years could he possibly get?
Um,
Do we think? I
Believe
don't
it or
think it's a life.
not, no, they
You think
could
it's
put him
like,
in for life. Yes.
really? Okay,
Yes.
so,
We have put, they were about to jail a 93-year-old man who stabbed his soon to be ex wife in the neck a bunch of times, and he died waiting to go before a judge.
shit. So, conceivably, if he would get like a life in prison thing, he would have a good
Mm-hmm.
20, possibly 30 years in jail, but I don't know if maybe he negotiates uh what's that called? You give people up for a lighter sentence, reduced jail time or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
What's that
Take a plea
called?
bargain or
Yeah, plea
cut a
bargain.
deal.
Yeah, plea bargain or cut some kind of deal for
Mm-hmm.
him to name names.
Yes.
I wonder if he does something like that. Because you know damn well that there's other people in there. You know what I mean? Like, what about a Bill Gates? What about Mark Zuckerberg? What about some of these bigger and even athletes and movie stars and all of that? I mean, there's a lot of names.
Yeah. They're very
And this is
well
one,
is that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
And this is one case that Crazy B and I really haven't covered. And I mean, for me, well, I hate to go into a lot of detail. We both know each other's history, and uh, doing assault things like this for me is very disturbing. And while I keep it on the peripheral and know a little bit, we have not done a deep dive into this.
And
And
there's a reason. And I
yeah,
also struggle with it because of
right.
things that have happened in the past.
Yes. And that's
And
really, yeah.
the reason.
Yeah, and there are reasons why, and if you guys ever want to know, you can hit us up in the Discord. Uh, and I forgot to tell you, please like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you for being with us this morning. But if you ever have any questions about anything, feel free to drop it in the Discord or send us a private DM, and we'll share with you what we can. If there's a story you want to know about, there are reasons why we may or may not cover something. And
Mm-hmm.
when we're talking about sexual assault and whatever, it hits a little too close to home for us. And we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
So that's kind of why we really haven't delved into him. Uh, and sometimes even the violent homicide type situations or whatever, we may or may not cover. So
Yeah.
there,
There's again, it's not because we don't care about it, it's because I've been through
it,
some stuff and I do have PTSD from legitimate attacks and harm done to me, not the I got PTSD because my parents told me no.
uh-huh.
So this is where I kind of I have to be careful.
Right. So usually what'll happen is we may cover it like after the fact and say, here's what happened. In this case, this has been going on for how many years? And it just so happens it is breaking news. So,
Yep.
all right, Crazy B, what else you got for us? Oh, so this
Um
is the next.
yes. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, go ahead. Yes, that was the
Okay, you
next one
ready?
up.
Okay, so this is from Nick Sorter. So holy crap, he says Prince Andrew has been arrested following revelations in the newly released Epstein files. And again, we know he was taken into custody today on his 66th birthday. And even that I find it ironic. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't get him the day before, the day after. Really? And
Mm-hmm.
then Nick says, finally. And what pictures you got for us, Crazy B?
All right. Um,
Okay, so
let me
can we
try and
can we
yeah.
can
Let's
you
do.
hit lot?
Oh, that's a video. And that's why we
Yeah, let me
can't.
check. Can you show that?
Yes, I can absolutely show this.
That's
Gonna be a little bit of
that's
a
our
cropped one, but there we go.
Stunning news out of London. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested, presumably in connection with his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to go straight to our foreign correspondent, James Longman.
Hi, George. Yes, extraordinary news out of the UK this morning. The former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has this morning been arrested on the Sandringham estate where he was living after having been removed, of course, from the home he was living in Windsor. The Thames Valley Police, the police here in the UK, put out a statement. They haven't named him specifically, but they are saying a man in his 60s has been arrested. As part of the investigation, they say we have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office, carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. They say the man remains in police custody at this time. They are not, like I say, naming Andrew, but we know that it is him. This pertains to emails, we believe, that were published recently in the most recent Epstein files published by the Department of Justice, which seem to suggest, they allege that Andrew was forwarding emails to Jeffrey Epstein whilst he was trade envoy here in the UK. Now, as a public official, that is misconduct. That is what the police are alleging. That's the charges that they presumably are bringing to him if they do indeed charge him. He is under arrest and remains in custody for that. We will wait and see what further details they are yet to give us. But you know, as trade envoy, he spent more than 10 years traveling around the world on behalf of the British government to kind of foment relationships with other countries to better Britain's kind of economic outlook, if you like. That was seen as a member of the royal family could do this. You know, the status would provide Britain with that kind of heft on the world stage. But the emails from the Department of Justice suggest that when he was in these conversations in places like Singapore, Hong Kong, I've got a list here in front of me of other countries that he went to, he would then have these kind of confidential documents in these emails, and then it looks like he was forwarding them on to Jeffrey Epstein, another one here from Vietnam, another from China. So if you look at the date on some of these emails as well, that is what is interesting. One of them here in front of me from 2010. Of course, that's well after Jeffrey Epstein had already faced charges for soliciting sex from a minor. So that goes to the heart of this entire issue around Andrew and Epstein. The relationship that he had with that convicted sex offender went far beyond the time which he said that he had broken all contact with him. People at home might remember the disastrous interview he gave in 2019 to the BBC, where he said that he had traveled to the United States, to New York, to sever his ties with Jeffrey Epstein, that he was there to basically explain to him that he no longer wanted to be in communication with him. These emails from the Department of Justice suggest that that was not true, that he basically lied about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein in that interview.
No shit, he lied. Why would he tell the truth? Like, yeah, I went there and I did all these horrible things to kids.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Really? Really?
Right. And I'm gonna send over you, Crazy B. It's a rather long document, but we'll put it in the description, and it talks about their misconduct while they're in public office. And one, it could be workplace, and then two, it could be if you're in like a government office situation. And guess what? You are right, Crazy B, that if you are a government official and their charges for misconduct while in office, you can have life imprisonment.
Okay.
So it has to be an indictment, then going through the process, and he could face life imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you he's going to cut a deal. Guarantee it. I guarantee he's going to name names. But I'm worried that you might be right. If they continue to hold him in prison or in jail, right, he's going to get Epsteined.
Yeah. There is that
Guaranteed.
possibility.
Yep. And we have these photos here. There he is. You know, there's Ghislaine Maxwell. How old's this chick?
I don't know.
Right?
Give me 1 second while I get this pulled over. I gotta kind of do this in a bit of a process because I gotta find a clean browser that I can use without my info in it. Okay, hold on.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to find a way to go in as a guest to start doing this stuff. So there we go. Misconduct of public office.
Yeah, it's rather long. You guys can read it. But this is for the UK. This is not from the United States.
Yes.
Uh,
Let
and
me
it
drop
just,
that
you know,
in the description show notes
okay.
while you're reading.
Okay. I wasn't even going to read it. I was going to give it to them. Basically, we gave the summation of, you know, what happens there. Let me just grab this other piece that I have. And again, what we're doing is, as we're hearing this information ourselves for the first time. So when they say a word, Crazy B and I are going out and scrambling trying to find an answer. So they mentioned the word misconduct, and we want to know exactly what is going. So they consider it to be misconduct in public office, and it's called
Mm-hmm.
criminal law. It applies to police, civil servant, and officials who
Oh,
willfully
wow.
neglect, yeah, who willfully neglect duty or misconduct themselves to such a degree that it abuses the public's trust. It requires willful, not accidental behavior that harms the public interest.
Wow.
Examples include examples include acting for improper motives, failure to act, or serious breaches of duty. Common types of charges: dishonesty, theft and fraud, violence or threats, sexual misconduct or harassment, serious breach
Wow.
of health and safety, and breach of confidentiality. Uh, so it can result in life in prison.
I'm glad to know that.
hmm It is the misconduct in public office is their most serious common law offense.
Okay.
So he's going to be, I think, a little bit in trouble.
And they got to prove it.
Yes. All right, what you got next?
Let's see. Where are we? Oh, that's way down there. Hold on. Let's roll you over here. Um,
While you're doing that, where's our audience at early in the
Probably
morning? You
still
guys
sleeping.
are
We have.
100%.
I was gonna say we do have people watching. We have one on Rumble and one on YouTube. So
There you go. All
we'll
right.
take it. Um, Next up is where we shift over into history being erased before our
Okay.
eyes.
Okay.
This is from a person I follow. This is a historian who presents as Jefferson Davis. I've covered him many times and used him as a reference many times, talked about
Uh-huh.
him a lot. He's all over my Discord server and stuff because this one actually shocked me. And I did go to the website and I did some research on it. And I'm sure I've got comments back on it because I've been chatting with him quite a bit this morning. So, and of
Right.
course, he does play character. He very rarely breaks character when putting a post. Okay.
Okay.
So, as the president of the CSA, I can say with 100% certainty that all Confederate linked organizations expired in 1865. These are American organizations that are attacked for their views about historical events. Any decent humans should vomit on this bill.
Okay. Hold up 1 second. So what's this about, Crazy B? What is the gist of
Well, that's
this
what it says
posting?
down here.
Oh,
House passes bill removing tax exemption for Confederate linked organizations in Virginia.
right.
Well, I'm thinking, what Confederate linked organizations? There are none. I know this just from all my years of research. So I clicked on the link because I was curious exactly which ones they were going to name, if they even named any. Okay,
Okay.
there's a high probability they weren't going to name any because none exist. So
Right.
if they were being honest, there should be no names. And again, this is to pacify people who won't look into history or look into these organizations or anything like that. This happens all the time. I've actively, as you guys know, have been a part of getting the monuments restored, getting artworks restored, getting all kinds of things restored for historical purposes. So
Right.
anyone who knows me knows I am borderline, not real, I wouldn't say an activist, but I am out there outspoken about how history should be truthful and factual and fuck everybody's feelings.
Right.
So y'all know me. Um, but here's the news article. The House's bill is removing tax exemptions for Confederate linked organizations. Let's scroll down and see who they list. That would be right here. The affected groups include the state and national chapters of the United Daughters of the Confederacy.
No.
How can the Daughters of the Confederacy be linked to the Confederate States of America when they didn't form until after the Civil War? And there's proof to it, so be patient, folks. The Confederate Memorial Literary Society. The Stonewall Jackson Memorial Incorporated. Among others. Who are others? They don't list them. This was passed on February 10th. Now, they want...
So it passed, yeah, it's in the Senate, right? No, it passed.
Yeah, the House passed, the Senate hasn't put it into place for the governor to sign. But they're saying, if enacted, organizations would be required to pay state recordation taxes on property transactions and would no longer receive special tax treatment for real and personal property. The bill will also contain technical amendments intended to update and align Virginia's tax code.
Okay, the one thing we didn't look at is what caused them to want to put this bill in place to begin with.
Oh, because there's a lot of people who are pushing that the states, the Confederate statues and stuff need to be removed, torn down, destroyed. Take your pick on who's behind it. But the governor of that state, and well, most of the politicians there.
Isn't that Stamberger?
Yeah, that woke jackass. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is all pandering and editing of history and silencing history and factual stuff to prove where the textbooks and schools and stuff are wrong.
Okay.
This is a double-fronted attack.
Yeah, I got an issue with it just to begin with. And that is...
We all do.
History is history. And why they're trying to erase it. Without having that knowledge of the Confederacy, how are we to prevent it going forward? And number two, if we're going to talk about if groups can go in and make changes like this, I'm going to argue, guess what? Slavery never existed. Let's erase it.
You think people should?
Because I'm tired of hearing about it.
I know. If they're going to sit there and play this game, I could play it right back. Hell, let's just erase Africa's history and it's an empty continent. Or Europe's an empty continent. Russia's an empty continent. They have no history anymore.
Right. I mean, really, we're going to, the fact that we have groups complaining about the Confederacy, right? In the Civil War, okay? Why is it now? How many current African Americans are bitching about they need reparations?
Reparations,
Slavery,
yep.
Yeah. Slavery has held me back. I can't get anywhere because of the...
What slavery? What are you talking about? I don't know anything about slavery.
Exactly.
Let's rewrite history a little more.
Let's erase... slavery never existed. If we have to get rid of the Confederacy, slavery never existed then, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So did the Civil War even happen? Nope. It never even happened. What the fuck is going on?
I keep telling you, all white people are being made to look evil and horrible and bad. It is a propaganda push to divide the nation into a racial fight, which ironically Democrats and Republicans, well, they claim that's what they fought over, but it wasn't. There is a fuck ton of historical evidence stating that was not the case. But it's been a racial divide since the 60s, 70s, 80s. Well, 80s and 90s weren't so bad. 2000, when Obama got into office and forward.
Right. Crazy B, if you can, maybe for next week or whatever, do you think you could find their houses, yeah, what am I trying to say? Get it out the hearing anybody. I'd like to hear whoever testified for this to pass this
Okay, I'll see
bill.
if there's an open of something on the internet, like
Okay.
YouTube or whatever, to watch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
just
try to find
curious.
that.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear exactly what these people had to say because
Oh,
yeah, I'll tell you what, if this is happening in Virginia, this is
it's
going
going to
to
start
spread
happening everywhere.
everywhere and then it's going to go to other issues.
Mm-hmm.
Um I'm shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really shocked.
I am
And I
too.
don't know if there's anything with your background or anything if you could uh, get any info to their Senate or to somebody that
Oh,
could
there's
present.
well, honestly, because I don't live there or anything, and even if I send proofs, it'll just get shut down. This is a very woke area. Um, it,
Could
it,
you put it? Could you put it up on X? Could you
Oh, I
send it
can
to them?
absolutely. I can post it on X, and I'm not the only one who would be doing it.
Okay.
There's an entire community that is probably in their chats, and I guarantee they are being blocked, deleted, and
Yeah,
attacked right
I'm sure
back
they are.
because I see this happen all the time. Again, I
Okay.
don't support slavery. No, not many people in their right mind these days do, including
Exactly.
the people who actually run the accounts. Because I've been in
Right.
DMs with them before, and they are like, we are just reporting on history as it happened, the way it happened, and in the pretense of I'm still living in that time frame. That is the character of, like, Jefferson Davis presents it as if it's still in the current times of the 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
which I have to give credit for because it takes a lot for dude to break character, and his staff that helps post for him. So they do a really good job, and
And you
they
said that
source
you said that
everything.
okay, and you said that these organizations were created after the fact, correct?
Yes,
They weren't
yes,
they weren't incorporated before
no,
or
not
during the
not
okay.
before, during, or even close after. We're
Do you
talking a
think
couple decades.
do you think this is something that they could take to their state Supreme Court and put through
Oh
the
yeah,
legal
they
system?
probably could. They probably could.
Okay.
Yes. Because they are
But I mean,
historical societies and historical organizations that teach history. They are not doing anything other than history, and they have no direct links to the Confederate States of America, which was disbanded and dissolved in 1865.
wow.
But we do have a quick YouTube video on this as well.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into my proofs. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
And continuing in your capital connection tonight, for many, Virginia's history painful, and that is why some Virginia Democrats say they're doing their part to make sure the state isn't glorifying the Confederacy.
Oh, stop one
Democrats
second,
moving forward.
Crazy B.
I know.
That wait, that explains it. So you got Spamberger, you got the Attorney General, you got the Senate, you got the House, and probably everybody else and their mother are all Dems. That explains it.
The
It's gonna pass.
Democrats who started the
Yep.
KKK.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's gonna pass the Senate, guaranteed.
And
Guaranteed
this
it's gonna pass.
is, but again, these are not people glorifying anything. They are retelling history the way it happened.
But they're not gonna they don't really give a shit about it though. You know what I mean? There you could go and like you said, no matter what center or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, they're gonna delete it, they're gonna block it. You
Yep.
could be
Well,
you
you
could
know
go to
what?
the hearing.
Slavery hurts my feelings, so let's erase the history of slavery.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm tired of hearing that. I don't think reparations should
Like you said.
happen.
Like you said. You know what? History never happened. There was
Yep.
no slavery ever in history, ever. And there's no slavery currently going on anywhere in the world
Nope.
because it hurts
Nada.
my
Nope.
feelings.
Yep.
Fuck
My
these
feelings are
idiots.
hurt. Yeah, my feelings are hurt.
Oh, and by the way, no more vanilla ice cream. I've had it with vanilla ice cream. It hurts my feelings.
Well, don't say
Chocolate
that
ice
because
cream, too.
Yeah, vanilla. We have a vanilla pie, so
Vanilla pie is
but
not vanilla ice cream. So
okay,
there's a
all right,
difference. But
okay.
it still gets on my nerves that there are jackasses out there who think that by shutting these people down and shutting them up, it will make history go away and they can feel better. It's
And
not.
and I just did a I don't know if I saved it for us or not. I think I just read it and was in disgust and kicked it out. But one of the somebody in the United States here is second graders. By the time they're done with second grade, they have to know trans terminology, gender identifications, blah blah blah.
No.
So yeah, I'll see if I could go back and find it. So we're gonna have second graders learn that shit, but
They're not going to be able to read or write.
well, no, well, not only that, but they're not gonna know history. They're not gonna
Hmm.
know about Germany and the Nazis, the
Well, they
true
don't really
Nazis.
teach. They don't teach that by second grade. That's more
I
high
know that, but
school.
I'm just right. I understand that, but my point is the history is being erased. So we got the high school with German and what happened with the Holocaust. We have this with the Confederate, the Civil War, and slavery. We're going to erase all of this history, no matter what age group it's in, and we're going to replace it with this wokeism stuff.
And
It's
all white people
bullshit.
bad. All white
Yes,
people bad movement.
it's bullshit.
And there's another post we can get to about that one, with the
Okay.
all white people bad thing, but we don't have to cover it
Yeah.
today because it's completely different. It's the psychosis. It's literally a psychologist put out a book, The Psychosis Behind White People, because white people are starting to fight back about being harassed, name called, and mistreated, like
Right?
that chick yesterday that we covered, whining and
Yes.
crying about being pepper sprayed, and she deserved
Yeah.
it.
Right.
She's lucky
She's the
that was the
one that
least of it.
exactly. She's lucky to be alive. What are you talking about? She's
Like
lucky to
that's
fucking
why I
be
said she's
alive.
lucky that was the least of it. It could have
Yeah.
been far worse. And get we're supposed to just roll over and take it. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Shove everything right up where the sun don't shine. Turn around and walk the fuck away. Cause I ain't listening
Exactly.
to it. I
I
don't
know.
feel. I would never
I
sit
don't
there and
feel bad
berate
for
a
her.
black person or any other his minority and expect them to take it. What the
Right.
fuck is wrong with people?
I know.
I want to do that to any race, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Ooh, they get on my
Yeah.
nerves. But
I
we
know.
got this bullshit going on. And lies in order to pass it.
Right.
So let's finish hearing what the video's going to say,
Okay.
and then we'll jump
Okay.
into the proofs because
Okay.
this is a topic you
All
know
right.
pisses me off.
I know. Go ahead.
Forward now with bills to get rid of Confederate statues, license plates, and more. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler England explains.
Bills working their way through the legislative process would remove 3 Confederate statues from Capitol Square,
Nope.
stop the state from issuing Robert E. Lee license plates, and
Nope.
take tax exemptions away from certain Confederate organizations. Virginia Democrats are taking aim at Virginia's controversial past.
It shows a lot of African Americans that Virginia hasn't moved forward. Virginia hasn't taken those steps.
Oh my God! You know what? If they hadn't moved forward, my man would still be in chains. If the Commonwealth had not moved forward, he would not be a legislator.
It wasn't too long ago that I found proof while discussing with people about slaves who served in the Confederate Army. And yes, they did a lot of cooking and errand running and stuff like that, helping in medicine and all that. But they still willingly chose to serve, including many who left despite the owners' protests of them going to serve.
Yeah.
They literally said, screw you, I'm going to serve, dipped off the plantation, and joined the Confederate Army.
Mm-hmm.
Willingly of their own accord. They're like, I'm going to have to pull together all the resources that I've got over the years,
Right.
and compile together all
Okay.
the history of the current and former slaves who joined the Confederate Army. I will see what I
Why
can
don't
find.
Yeah. And why don't we maybe do a special then?
Because all these people seem to think blacks were held against their will in the South and used, you know, they were being held hostage.
Right.
But they forget that a lot of these slaves did love where they were. They absolutely praised the person who owned them, or what they called the master, and
Right.
they stayed on the plantation even after they were freed to work as farmhands. Even after they were freed, if and again, I'm not saying all slave owners were like that, but there are a lot of stories that support what I'm saying right now. And
Right.
there were bad ones. I've got stories of bad ones. But there are a lot of stories out there saying, my master never treated me that bad. No one on this plantation treated me bad.
Right.
I got good health care for it when I got this illness. They really took good care of me. They didn't hit me. They didn't beat me. They taught me to read. You will find these stories if you look. They
Right. But
exist.
most people don't want to look because it breaks the narrative.
There's a guy on X that has a standing challenge that any story he posts, if anyone can prove his story wrong, he will give them $10,000.
Wow.
It is a standing challenge that has never been claimed. I use him as a source
Right.
a lot when I have arguments with people about this. I have a bunch of the stories he posts on my server. And yes, there are a lot of stories where people absolutely adored the owners of the plantation they were on. And it wasn't because they were held against their will. No, they were given a good life in some case on some of these. And
Right.
and again, I'm adding the some of these because people will try to twist my words, but it does exist. There were,
Yep.
out of the 1 to 2% of people in all of American history who ever owned slaves, there were good owners. There were bad ones, but good ones. So
Right.
history is wrought with in betweens. But there, again, let's talk about even again, this goes towards the Union Army. Union Army enlisted black people, but treated them very poorly.
Yes.
And let's not forget that the biggest slave port was in Rhode Island, kind of north of you know, line.
Yes.
That nice mix, the Mason Dixie line. It's really quite north of it. So,
Well, I'm not sure everybody knows about the Mason-Dixon line. It might be like an AOC situation where you don't know where Venezuela is. But
all right,
all
we
right.
will have to get to that, but let me continue hit play
Okay, go
and
ahead.
go with this because I've got proofs. These are lies.
Confederate
Go ahead.
organizations like the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Delegate Alex Askew wrote the bill.
We have the opportunity to remove the United Daughters Confederacy and other organizations that have celebrated the Confederacy for far too long and celebrated massive resistance for far too long.
However, in a statement opposing the bill, the United Daughters of the Confederacy says, quote, to punish descendants of those veterans who responded to the call of your legislature in 1861 to defend their state reeks of discrimination based on misguided and biased opinions of our great philanthropic organization. Meanwhile, a House committee has
Good
also
for them.
approved a
I
bill
follow them
to
on
stop the
X.
state from issuing license plates honoring Robert E. Lee and the sons of Confederate veterans.
The license plates are harmful to no one. Only hatred and deliberate discrimination by the Commonwealth of Virginia would cause this committee to vote to remove them.
Every time I go down 64, I see a massive Confederate flag. It reminds me of
Oh, wow.
being enslaved.
The Senate also unanimously approved a bill to remove a controversial song as Virginia's official song
You know
of
what?
heritage.
Ow!
At the
I almost fell. You know what? I'm offended every time I see the rainbow flag. How about that? The only flag, perhaps I want to see is the United States flag.
Well, each
Or how
state
about
has their individual flags, too.
right? I understand that, but I'm offended. I don't like what Kentucky's flag looks like. Those colors hurt my eyes.
This
Come
is
on.
setting precedents for some really stupid arguments.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just like, the stupidity
I
that's
know.
coming. Okay,
Yes.
let me
And
hit
like you
play.
said, this is
Oh,
precedent setting, just like we talked about previously. That you know, all these little things that are happening in little areas, somebody else is going to pick it up in your state and say, "Well, this
and I
affects."
will argue it as best I can.
Oh,
I am absolutely sick of this shit.
right.
So, but let's continue. There's still a few more minutes of this.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's jump to some of these organizations they're talking about, okay?
Okay.
First up, they listed the Stonewall Jackson Memorial, right?
Yes. Yep.
Guess when that was unveiled? That monument.
When?
1919.
Oh, really?
1919. That's when that monument got put up.
Wow.
How's that got links to the Confederate States of America?
Because aren't there aren't there photos way back when, and they show little objects in the background, and they'll be like oh, here's somebody from the future, or here's an alien posted in the Civil War, or
Here,
here's something electrical, right?
well, here's the biggest thing. They're just pissed because this guy was a general who whooped the shit out of the North in many battles, and their feelings are hurt.
You would think that's something that there would be a little bit of pride to. Yes, no?
Again, this is okay. This is going on the basis that the Civil War was fought over slavery. But there are many proofs of Lincoln saying, if I can hold this union together while leaving slavery intact, I will.
Wow.
If I can keep this union together for this, that, the other, I will. Okay, yeah, he said a lot of things. In the beginning, it was about economics.
Okay,
There
so
are
when
articles everywhere.
So when we go to do the slavery piece, let's make sure that we cover that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
This
and pull the
statue is hurting nobody.
right.
And guess what? Guess where this guy was from? Oh yeah, Virginia. That's another reason he has a statue there. Because of importance. And if you don't like the statue, close your fucking eyes. Look the other way. Shut the hell up.
I mean, drive by it.
Mhm.
So is that to say that pictures of or statues of
George Floyd statues and pictures offend me. I want them down now.
that fucking offends me to no end.
There we go.
Especially
Same with Martin Luther King Jr. Those all offend me all of a sudden.
Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman.
Let's rename all those roads, all those schools, all the statues got to go. Imagine if the roles were reversed. I don't care. I don't care if history is good or bad, your feelings like it or not. It's history. We need to learn from it.
Yes.
Not be afraid of it and feelings hurt.
Right. And I mean, and this goes for, and let's just not pick on that race. Now, unfortunately, I'm not that well versed in the Hispanic, whoever they have for put up as statues. But
I
let's
haven't
talk
even
about,
seen any.
yeah, well, I think there's some with the
Well, there might be some Cesar
yeah,
Chavez ones.
as I'm even thinking back to like when the Spanish War was fought and stuff like, going way back.
Oh, those are
But
mostly in the Southwest where it
yeah,
happened.
right. So let's even talk about statues from the Holocaust or from World War I, World War II. Let's talk about things that happened from when
Vietnam.
yeah, Vietnam, any of them.
Let's just take down every statue everywhere and
You
never
know,
put one up
I
again.
just
If
I
that's
like
really the way this is going to go.
when Eric and I were first married, we drove through Shenandoah Valley, right?
Beautiful
Picking up
area.
yes, it is. And we picked up Skyline Drive to come through the Shenandoah Mountains, right?
Hmm.
So we stayed at this. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but when we walked in, I'm telling you, there was a picture probably as tall as me behind the counter, and it was of General Eisenhower back in the day. I'm offended.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm offended. You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to see that shit for when it was an old, I don't know if it was a mansion or what, but it had the huge columns. I mean, it was an old building. It wasn't like a new type of, hotel chain or anything. It was a
Hmm.
pretty old place. But if we're going to start bitching and we're going to start wanting to erase history, then I'm offended by all of it.
And you want to know what's worse is about this statue? It doesn't glorify him. It just says who he is.
Yeah, that's all. It doesn't say that he beat the shit out of the North now, does it? In
No.
fact, we have wow, I haven't been there in so long. Down by the one hospital, there's a huge park that dates back to the 1800s. And in the
Hmm.
park, there's at least 4 statues of people that I'm gonna have to go down and take a look. I and snap a pic, or I probably could get it online somewhere. I'll see if I could find it, and let's see who they are. That's
Yeah.
very interesting you bring that up. I don't know if you have any place around you like that, Crazy Bee, that you could identify.
Oh, I have plenty.
Um,
There's a nice little cemetery right down the road and various homes
oh
in my
yeah, we got
area. My area is literally minutes from the Tennessee border.
okay,
My state was considered north. Well, and Tennessee was considered south with the exception of a little dip down into Nashville because Nashville was kind of supporting the north. But oh no,
okay,
my entire area, there are memorials, like placards on the sides of roads and off these little beaten path type
right,
things where battles were fought.
right. Okay, let's talk about if I lived in Minneapolis or Detroit or where I can't think of the other name, but I'm offended by, and we've talked about this, the Muslims call to prayer uh, music every day or whatever you want.
We
I'm
could this
offended.
will this is a slippery slope that will lead into many things.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like your clothing. Now we got to ban
Yeah.
clothing. I don't like the colors.
Well,
Ban the
look at what
colors.
yeah, look at what happened in Pennsylvania with all the problems we have. Asshole Shapiro felt it necessary to write a law about blacks' hairstyles that you're not allowed to discriminate them against if they have dreadlocks, if they have braids.
Okay, my question, when has anyone done that? Since the 60s.
Right.
When has anybody done that in modern times? Now, now there might be something like if in a certain factory setting where it's a safety concern, tie it back or cut them. It's a
Yeah, that
safety concern thing.
yeah.
But
Say guys that have beards and shit. If it's a safety issue, they got to wear a face guard, a face mask.
yes, like if my son were to start cooking where he works, instead of just cashiering, he would have to wear one of those little nets. It's like, this is again, it's not necessarily discrimination because of the hairstyle itself, but come on. Seriously? I mean, like,
And this what people might consider to be minor, like, oh, you two are making a bunch of shit out of nothing.
no,
Who
this has been an
cares?
ongoing problem as to why people think all white people are evil, but fail to mention how a lot of white people over the history were also enslaved. And let's not forget there were a lot of Irish people stuck in those fields too.
You want to talk about Irish people? How about working up in New York City, in sweatshops, in factories, cleaning people's homes, being
The
a nanny,
indentured servitude.
yeah, exactly. And they were, and while they may not have gotten beat, and some
Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes. Actually, it was worse to be an indentured servant in the North in a lot of ways. I have heard some horror stories.
Yep. Or how about my great grandfather being a coal miner? You want to talk about that? Yeah, let's talk about that.
There was an Irish woman in the North who's she was an indentured servant to a guy who locked her in the basement for 11 days without food or water, and when they found her, she was dead. And it was all because I believe, if I remember correctly, because she dropped something and it broke. I'm telling you, when I say slavery has been a problem around the world into modern times, African slaves were not the only ones. Why do they scream the loudest?
I don't know. I mean, you and I both could give detailed versions on how we were raised. And I guarantee you that what I went through was way more than many black, white, Hispanic, or whatever slaves went through. I guarantee it.
It is insane. And again,
Yeah.
I sit there and look at where my family comes from. They were enslaved continuously by Muslim Turks until 1920. 1920. 60 years after slavery ended in America.
It was still happening in other parts of the country. And I want to know why it's okay. It's still happening in Africa. It's still happening in the
Afghanistan just literally voted it back in.
Yeah.
And yet, y'all are still bogged down, chained to a history that has not directly affected you. Right. My family came here with the clothes on their back and the little bit of money they had in their pocket, and we have survived just fine. I knew a woman that she was a patient of mine. Her father was a freed slave. He had her when she was born when he was like 80. She said they got treated worse, not because he was black or a freed slave, but because he was mixed in with the Native American community. So that goes to show that Native Americans were despised even more than the slaves.
Right.
They were looked down upon more than the slaves. And let's not forget, Native Americans, you had slaves too. Right. And not just other tribes. They purchased African slaves. Yes, it happened. And let's not forget about the other Africans who, when freed, purchased slaves.
Yeah.
One of the largest slave plantations in the Northern America, where we are now, in the United States, was owned by a black person.
Yep.
Seriously, get your history right.
Are you sure it was the United States and it wasn't,
yes.
North
it was,
South?
Nope, it was in the south. I believe it was in Georgia.
Yes,
don't quote me, but it was in the actual states, not in the Caribbean, where that was even worse. than what happened in America. Not in South America, where it was just as bad, if not worse.
Right. And I'm
But,
saying that
yeah.
she's a smart ass. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that from a geography standpoint, are we.
But let's
I just.
jump to the next society that they're going after. Hold on.
Go
Because
ahead.
there's more. They are going after, oh God, go away. They are going after the Confederate Memorial Literacy Society. It was chartered in 1890. It is founded by an all-female board. And it contains to showcasing artifacts and literature related to the Civil War.
Okay. Jesus.
All women. Anyone want to remind them women have more pull than anything over the sun? They're always the victims. They should play the I'm a woman card, except what is a woman and how can she get an ID? But she should be president and all women should be glorified.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting that, leftists? Then we have our third one. This one you even did a gasp at. Daughters of the Confederacy, founded 1894, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville was, like I pointed out, part of this specific little dip that sided with the North.
Right.
So, yeah. We'll skip the AI overview. Let's take a look at what the group is about. It was founded by, let's see, established in Nashville, 1984, the group venerated the Ku Klux Klan during the Jim Crow era. And in 1926, a large chapter funded construction of a monument to the Klan. Okay, so it's part of history.
Right.
Part of history. I'm not going to judge them because at the time, Democrats were all for the Klan. Do we remember that?
Yeah. Well, who started the Klan, by the way, Tracy B?
Oh, yeah. Nathan Forrest. Nathan Forrest. Yeah. That guy. He fought for the South. Then he started the Ku Klux Klan. Well, he was one of the founders, one of a few.
Right.
Yeah.
But who were they? Were they?
Oh, he was a major Democrat politician. He was a Democrat to boot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. As of 2011, there were 23 so-called real daughters, that is, actual children of Confederates living, and one of whom, Maddie Clyburn Rice, was black.
What?
Wait, what? No, that can't be. How could a black person be a daughter of a Confederate soldier?
What?
No. Hey, you know what? Let's take a look at her. Let's take a quick look at her. Do they have a picture of her? No, they don't. She was born on September 15th, 1922 in Marshville, North Carolina. The young mother and elderly father.
Yeah. Crazy B, see if you could do a Google search and see if you can find a pic of her.
A picture of her? Okay, one second. I'm going to close the screen share for a second, folks. You know me. I'll be pulling it right up as soon as I find it. Because, by golly, this don't make no sense.
Yeah.
How?
You guys came to the new kitchen with me, by the way. I decided I needed more food.
Holy bejesus. They weren't joking.
What?
She's black. And she's proud of her father, who was a Confederate veteran.
All right, you got a pic of her?
Yeah, showing it right here.
Hold on, I got to get there. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I'd say she's African American. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at all these.
Wow. Is she still alive?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Right here. Right in front of a Confederate flag. Oh, my God. How dare this happen? She passed away, according to this article. Let's take a look. 2012. Oh no, wait, no, hold on. Died Monday of 2014.
Okay.
Wow, that's so sad. But I'm stunned. Wait, I thought all black people were offended by this stuff.
Right.
How?
Is there any articles or anything about anything that she said?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Maybe
NPR.
YouTube, yeah, or a YouTube video or anything about her that you could
She okay.
share?
Hold on, right here. Okay, the group includes 23 elderly women. Maddie Clyburn Rice, spent years researching through archives
Wait
to
a minute.
prove her
Wait a minute.
father.
Hold on. Hold on a minute. Isn't there Claiborne in the House of Representatives?
Possibly. It's Clyburn, not Claiborne.
Oh
Clyburn.
God. How do you spell it? I can't see it.
CLYYBURN. And
Okay, I
she
think
dug through archives for years to prove her father was a black Confederate.
okay.
As she leafs through a notebook filled with official-looking papers, Rice stops to read a faded photocopy of with details of her father's military service. At Hilton Head, while under fire of the enemy, he carried his master out of a field of fire on his shoulders, that he performed personal service for Robert E. Lee. That was his pension record, says Rice.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Why would a slave save their master from a burning fire?
Yep. Well, what's that word? When you're abused and you continually
Oh,
go back.
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah. Are they going to argue that it was Stockholm?
No, I don't think they'll be able to get away with that. But
Okay.
Rice is the second black real daughter to be recognized by an organization that was once exclusively for white women. Yet some progressive historians and Civil War buffs frown at her father's story. They say the very term Black Confederate supports the notion that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. Because it wasn't!
Right. That's crazy.
When was this article written again? Hold on. 2011.
So that was right before she died then, huh?
3 years before her passing.
Right.
But Rice says her father went to war willingly. Though his story is complicated, he ran away with his best friend, who was white and the son of his master, to join the Confederate cause.
Oh, that's something. No way. That's wild.
Seriously, folks? If this does not prove the narrative that is being pushed is so full of shit, I don't know what does.
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You have anything else on that?
No, this is it. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this article and post it into the show notes.
Okay.
And then you guys can go find some more on your own if you want to do further research, and quit believing the lies of these politicians who are trying to erase history on us as we speak.
Right. If you find anything,
send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us.
Whether it's for us or against us. Whatever we're saying, please send it, and I will get proofs to debunk or support.
Right.
So.
All right. Why don't we? What time is it, Crazy?
It is 11:30 your time. We've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay. Why don't we cover that South Korea thing?
Okay. Let me close their eyes for a second. because
Okay.
this was also breaking news. God, what is it with world leaders today? I guess
don't know.
Trump started a trend with Maduro.
I guess. Yeah, for real.
And let me
I
put
think
this in
there.
the show notes too.
Okay, I think there might be a video attached to it. I can't remember.
I don't see a video.
Okay.
Just a very brief, like
Okay.
4 sentences.
Okay.
Let
So
me share it so they can see it.
okay.
There you go.
And I apologize. I probably could have gotten a whole. There's way more than that. Crazy V, you want to read that and let me go out and grab.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, bear with us, folks. We didn't plan on covering this, but while we're live, why not?
Yep.
Fudge bucket balls. If I lose you, Crazy B, I will come back in because I haven't done this on the tablet. So.
Oh no, that's fine. I'll go ahead and give them a brief rundown. So it wasn't too long ago that we covered something about a former South Korean president trying to incite an insurrection and overthrow the government. Well, dude's about to face dude is sentenced to life in prison for it after a court found him guilty of leading an insurrection during his short-lived imposition of martial law. This oh no, I'm sorry. This yeah, they were trying to, what was it, impeach him or get rid of him, and he decided to storm their Capitol building with a bunch of idiots to overthrow it, and declared martial law and all this other stuff to try and prevent it. And yeah, well, the politicians themselves said screw this, broke in anyways, and convened in their session. So there was a lot of chaos at that point. I was even struggling to follow the story because it's like, what? Wait, who? When? Where? Why? How? What? So it was like two groups fighting to control the Capitol building to get things done at the same time.
So,
it's weird.
Do you possibly think that with this being done, as we know, the Dems have said that if they get back into power, they're going to impeach Trump. Do you think this could be used in any way against him because they were able to take him down for insurrection?
Did he declare martial law and lock the politicians out of the Capitol building?
I don't think so, but there's other reasons that they would make that claim. You know,
they're stupid and it's full of shit. And unless, I mean, they falsify evidence, it's not going to make a difference. That's the only way they're going to win.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, this feels like a deja vu moment. Okay, here's something. Here's a video from.
I got the link. I gotta load it into the Google. 1 moment. Sorry, folks. This is what happens when we go all find things as we go.
Right, and we didn't, and I didn't. Neither one of us planned on doing this, but this popped up via the articles and information that we did regarding Prince Andrew. So
it's not a video.
Okay, yeah, I know. That's an article. I'm sending the video right now. So give me 1 second.
Okay, one moment, folks.
1 moment, please, while we try to get our shit together.
Oh, what a day it has been. What a day it has been.
There you go. And then we could do the article.
Okay. Copy link. Got to keep updating the description as we go. And then I'll go ahead and make this visible for them. Yeah, we were not expecting to do this today, but so here we go.
None of it. Yeah, absolutely none of it. So we probably, there's going to be more information on all 3 topics as this continues. So we'll keep you updated.
All right, let's see what's going on. If it'll load.
From
There it
prison
goes.
to prison bus. Former South Korean leader Yoon Sung-yeol arrives at court for a pivotal ruling.
The accused, Yoon, is to be sentenced to lifetime imprisonment.
The decision reverberating through crowds gathered outside. His supporters remain steadfast.
I came all the way from the outskirts of Seoul to support Yoon, hoping for a dismissal of the indictment.
But many others saw this as a test of the country's democracy. Defiant Koreans met the military in the streets when Yoon declared martial law a little over a year ago. He claimed he was rooting out anti-state forces when he made the call. Today, the court disagreed. This is one of 8 trials Yoon has been facing, and the most serious, dealing with the charge of insurrection. His attempt to install military rule in 2024 was quickly quashed. Within hours, politicians broke through cordons to vote to remove the troops, and 11 days later, Yoon had been impeached. Prosecutors had called for the death penalty. The lesser sentence of life imprisonment.
They're very serious over there.
Yes, they are.
Now, that was a man who did an insurrection. He locked the politicians out. He put in martial law. He tried to prevent the democracy from doing its job. Trump did not do that. He said to go peacefully protest. Then the FBI idiots throughout the mob got everybody riled up and started storming the building, and Trump gets blamed for it. But Nancy Pelosi knew it was coming, as did a few others. And then you got AOC. I was fearing for my life, and Kamala was fearing for her life. But Kamala wasn't even in the frickin' building, was she?
Nope.
So, yeah, there's that. They emptied the building before the doors actually got breached. As the crowd started throwing things and breaking windows, that's when they moved everyone to safety.
Well, we know now that there was FBI planted in the crowd.
Yes. Agitators, bad characters set there to intentionally incite further problems. It's like...
Or I'm going to argue, once they got into the Capitol and you had police showing them where to go, like, oh, come this way, instead of maybe, why wasn't anybody arrested? Not one person was arrested while they were in there. If they were serious about security, when the first person came through, you would have thought they would have thrown them in handcuffs and perhaps everybody else would have backed off. Or why didn't they block the entrance and say you're not coming in?
Yeah.
They
opened the door. Those doors were locked. People did not get through those doors until they were opened. You can't breach those doors easily.
Right.
So they had to have been opened from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't. And why then wasn't the police charged with failure to do your duty?
Yeah, dereliction of duty. Dereliction of duty.
Yeah.
That's what the words are.
I mean, why is it that when people came through, you just stood there? Why is it that when people came through, you said, oh, here's Nancy Pelosi's office. Oh, here's the floor. Oh, here's, go up, go down. I mean, they showed them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Pelosi doing the video prior with her daughter saying that it was going to happen. She knew all about it.
Mm-hmm. Why was her daughter there filming? Yeah, exactly. They could, again, they want to try and use this against Trump. But Trump has done nothing that is actually going to get them to succeed.
Right.
And kidnapping Maduro isn't kidnapping because the dude had an arrest warrant out. Well, he was a cartel. He's the head of a cartel. Come on.
The issue with him, though, is going to be they're still going to try to impeach him.
Oh,
They're
they've
still
tried
gonna
already. They can impeach him, but the Senate's not going to punish him.
Right.
Just like last time.
But they're going to waste the American taxpayers' money, time, and all of that.
And the Republicans aren't doing that with the SAVE Act right now?
What do you mean?
Well, the SAVE Act. You got to have ID to vote. We already have that in order.
Uh-huh.
You need these documents to get a real ID. We already have that in order. It's been on the books for 20 years. The Republicans are wasting it too. That's the thing is, I think our entire system is designed to waste time, effort, and money.
Right. I don't disagree with that statement. Whoever gets in, I am tired of hearing we're going to have an investigation.
I hear investigation one more time, I might scream.
Because
we all know investigation means we ain't going to do a fucking thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
But no, I don't. Even if they try, it'll be again the stupid shit like what before. Nod, smile, keep on going. Nothing's going to happen because, there's not enough proof that he did anything wrong. And again, if they want to sit there and say, oh, he did this to that country. Obama did a lot of things to a lot of countries. Shut up. Go away. Hillary Clinton. Let's not forget what she's done. And let's not forget some of the other wonderful people like the Bushes.
How about Fauci?
He's not the president. I'm going on presidents only.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because this is an impeachment of a president that we're talking about. So, and then again, Hillary Clinton can't really count either. But again, if we're sticking to just presidents, everything since LBJ, every president since LBJ.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it was Ronald Reagan who dealt with Iran last time they decided to mess with our ships in the 80s and like obliterated their ships all in one day. Their entire navy obliterated in one day.
Well, do you want to count Prince Andrew in there with the presidents? And he's just going to be some type of investigation. And
that's hard to say. That's hard to say. I don't know because my son said the same thing. Yeah, he's been arrested, but is he actually going to be, found guilty?
Yeah, exactly.
So we still don't know what it'll hold, and I am not super familiar. I mean, I can take a look and keep an eye on what people are saying, what they think is going to happen, people from over there. And honestly, it's hard to say what's going to happen.
Right. Maybe we could call Pierce Morgan and say, hey, we'll trade you for some spicy chicken. Give him some spicy chicken and,
Oh, God. He's an idiot. Such an idiot. But,
all right.
I mean, we'll just kind of keep an eye on this and see where it goes out to. But let's try to, let's get through this because, we're going on the 2-hour mark.
Okay.
Pragmatism in a country that is weary and divided in the wake of the failed martial law declaration. Separately, the country's then Prime Minister and Interior Minister have also been jailed for their roles in the insurrection.
Oh, wow.
The leader's lawyer says they will discuss appealing and claimed the ruling was a pre-written script. Natalie Whiting, ABC News.
It was a pre-written script. Okay. Make that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense, folks.
What's, okay. What do we have up next on that?
No, those are all you've sent over.
Oh, I thought there was an article I sent.
Didn't we cover that? Video? Oh, no. Here it is.
Yeah. So let's just scroll through that real quick and see if it tells us anything else. So it's former South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol handed a life sentence for leading the insurrection.
Here we are.
Yeah, so he was sentenced to life in prison today, I guess, or last Thursday. They found him guilty of leading it during his short-lived imposition of martial law, which plunged the country into political chaos and threatened to unravel decades of democracy. Now, even that statement made there by CNN, I find that kind of very interesting that they're using that terminology.
Well, over there, it is a bit more
Right.
volatile. Their politics
Right.
is very volatile, and of course, North Korea has a degree of influence in that.
Okay.
So, as well as China and a couple other places trying to influence their politicians and stuff. Um, it
Okay, so
is. They are very much more likely to unravel than America,
then
that
we
has
are.
been a
Okay.
democracy for hundreds of years. They've been a democracy since what, the 30s?
Something like that, yeah. So the verdict closes a chapter of one of South Korea's biggest political crises, a saga that has been full of dramatic twists that have tested the country's democratic guardrails. So in December of 2024, Yoon, who's 65, declared martial law in a late night televised speech, saying there were anti state forces within opposition parties that were sympathetic to North Korea. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was one of
Or
them.
Yeah, orange soldiers descended on the parliament by helicopter and attempted to storm the chamber where lawmakers were gathered. Shocked and angry citizens, along with lawmakers and parliament staff, rushed to barricade the entrances and fought to block the soldiers from reaching the chamber in chaotic scenes broadcast live on TV. Yoon's shocking declaration revealed dark memories of the country's authoritarian past, plunged South Korea into a constitutional crisis, and was widely condemned as striking at the heart of the nation's democracy. Again, the terminology.
Well,
It
they are
is,
a democracy there, even
I
more than we are.
understand, I understand, but they're using the almost exact wording that they use to describe the U.S. So
It's
we're
also
using
every other
words.
Western country.
Yeah, we're using words like constitutional crisis. Oh my God, you know, when I want to try to get to the heart of exactly what happened, and do you really consider it to be a insurrection?
In this case, yes.
Okay,
This
so
one,
since
I watched the live footage and stuff. It's very much.
Okay. So since the late 1980s, South Korea has transformed into a robust democracy with regular protests, free speech, fair election, and peaceful transfers of power. The country has also since grown into a major player in the global economy and remains a crucial U.S. ally in Asia. Both its domestic political scene remains deeply polarized and fractious, with presidents on both sides of the political divide often facing calls for impeachment, criminal investigations, and prosecution. Wow, just like the US, huh?
Yeah, and Europe and any other Western civilization.
Yeah, so the judge said that it was clear that Yoon's intention in declaring martial law was to paralyze the National Assembly for a significant period of time, considering the words he used in the military decree and the fact that he tried to arrest political opponents, including the leader of the opposition Democratic Party and his own ruling party's leader, Han Dong-hu. The very act of dispatching armed soldiers to the Parliament building and transporting them by helicopter constituted acts of insurrection. Wow, so they dropped in by helicopter.
Yes.
See, I didn't see that. Former Defense Minister Crazy B, do you think you can find anything where they dropped them
The
by
footage,
helicopter? Yeah,
I'll
do
see
they
if I
have?
can find some.
Okay. So former Defense Minister Kim Yong Hun was also found guilty of playing a major role in the insurrection, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Kim had previously taken responsibility for ordering soldiers to enact martial law. So I'm viewing that as he was trying to protect the president so that he didn't want him to kind of get thrown under the bus.
Probably.
Yeah, do you want to scroll up, down, sideways, or whatever?
Hold on. I'm still trying to find that, so I apologize.
No problem. We're good. 4 other former military and police officials received sentences of between 3 and 18 years. In a statement, Yoon's lawyers criticized what they called procedural violations and said the ruling lacked consistency. So even that's interesting. That I don't know if they're saying that they disagree with the call of insurrection. They're more or less fighting the procedures that went into making this determination. So, for example, and I'll just try to dumb it down as best I can. You type out a sentence, and instead of typing a period or a question mark or something at the end, you move on to the next sentence. I'm wondering just if they have the ability, what court handed this down? Do they have like a Supreme Court like we do? I don't know that. Do you know that, Crazy B?
I believe they have a system similar to it.
Okay. You may be able to deceive the public for a while and draw cheers in the public square, but the truth will one day be revealed in the court of history. We will never yield to distortion and lies, and we will fight to the very end, the statement said.
Okay. There you go.
And then Song Hwa 35, who was rushed to the National Assembly on December 3rd with her husband after hearing Yoon's declaration, said the verdict was an extremely important decision that will send a powerful message to the public. Chu Kook, leader of the liberal-leaning Rebuilding Korea Party, said Yoon tried to destroy South Korea's democracy. There are many places where democracy is faltering, he added. South Korea's experience shows that the power to protect and recover democracy lies within the people. Yoon, who can appeal the ruling, had denied the insurrection charge, saying his imposition of martial law was meant to alert the public to paralyzing political gridlock caused by the opposition party's majority in the National Assembly and its impeachment of several senior officials. Now, even that, Crazy B, to me is wild when they talk about their assembly when we have one as well. So I
Yeah.
wonder where they got their terminology and their setup of their democracy. Did they copy it from the United States and pick and
Not
choose?
necessarily word for word. I think they picked the things that suited them
Right.
best and kind of went
Yeah.
from there.
Okay. The National Assembly brought about the national crisis, and there was no other way but to awaken the people, he said in closing statements, arguing that as president he was exercising his constitutional authority.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep an eye out and try to follow. I'll see if I can find kind of like their court system and see who he appeals it to
I
next.
have one video I found that actually shows the helicopters in front of the Parliament building.
Okay.
I guess it was in front of. I didn't see anything pertaining to the rooftop, but that is also a very, again, not a lot of people really would possibly have that footage. So and it may not be released publicly. So give me 1 second while I pull that up.
Okay.
And then I will share it to everybody else. There. And then we do this. I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna mute because of the music. There's not people talking. That's security footage of the troops arriving by helicopter.
Okay.
And then they have him talking. He lifted. Oh, yeah, he ended up having to lift the martial law, but yeah. There's the security footage. I believe this just keeps repeating the same two things. So if it's, again, the same thing, I'll stop it because there's no point having it repeated twice. But yeah, oh, there they are storming, getting ready to bust into the building.
So that was less than 2 years ago.
That was a little over a year. A year and a couple months.
Right.
Yes. Look at that.
So what the
Going
hell?
in to try and stop them.
Wow, that reminds me of the United States.
But this is an actual military moving against the government, not a bunch of people waving flags.
And I wonder, yeah, go ahead.
It's just not the same thing. I mean, a bunch of unarmed people with flags is not an insurrection. What we did during the Revolutionary War was definitely an insurrection. We told England to go screw itself with lots of guns and farmers and pitchforks.
So the soldiers that were there, and there were obviously a significant number of them, were they held accountable in any way, or did they get a pass because they're?
That's where I don't know. I don't know. Now, like during the there was a kind of like a civil war in Albania, and the government was overthrown. The military that refused to take I'm trying to remember if they won or lost, but whatever it was, the people that I think it was oh God, now I can't remember, but one of the sides, I want to say it was, they had done the same thing, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was that the people who tried to overthrow them initially were, hold on. Wait, no, it was when their leader tried to become he tried to go into dictator mode. The military that supported the president and did not agree to overthrow him were charged. And that's what happened to the, if I remember correctly, the guy that was at the restaurant where I used to live in Michigan. The one I was telling you about, he had the restaurant. That guy was one of the ones who had supported him and then fled when he was able to escape and flee. And that's why he ended up getting deported as a war criminal for war crimes in the Albanian. It was like a revolution thing or a civil war. I would have to refresh my history on this. It's been a long time since I've really spoke on it.
Yeah, let me send this to you real quick, and we'll try to finish up, guys. And we might have to pick this up tomorrow.
I can't remember which way it went, but there were people of that military. But that is, again, in a different country. So, yes, the civil unrest one.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that
Hold
it?
on.
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Let me close this. And we'll do a quick read over on this, a brief history, because someone I worked with, her father was one of the people who helped launch the thing to get the guy out of power. So he was one of the major one of the people who did that. So in 1997, Albania experienced a widespread civil unrest due to economic problems caused by a collapse of pyramid schemes, large sums of money, siphoning, so on. 1997, Albanian citizens who lost money in the protest. No, this might not be it. Hold on, let me keep reading. On 11th of March, Socialist Party of Albania archived a major victory when its leader, Bashkim Fino, was appointed prime minister. However, the transfer of power, yes, this is what, did not halt the unrest. The protesters spread to northern Albania, although the government quelled revolts in the north, its ability to maintain order. Wait, no, this is not. This is where it was. Hold on. Let me keep reading. By March, all major population centers were engulfed in demonstrators in foreign country. And foreign countries began evacuating their citizens.
They've had, it appears to be several.
Yeah,
which
there
we-
was. This
yeah.
was more of a civil war or a revolution. Da, 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 da,
Sent you a
da.
little history thing. We'll look and we can do that first thing tomorrow.
Yeah,
If
there
you
was a
want
little
to
bit
get
more behind that. This is the one. This is a little bit after. This was the final overthrow of the dictator that led to the democracy that I'm thinking of. And there were people who actually fled that and were charged with war crimes. I got to do some research around it. I want to say this was more in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s type of thing.
Okay.
I'll have to look at it.
It could be, there's one there from 1997. So that could, that's the pyramid scheme one. We'll take a look at it and whatever you need,
We'll do some research into it. But there's some very interesting history out of Albania. So that's a really interesting country.
I'm very surprised at how much there is.
For such a small country, they've had a lot happen.
Yes, ma'am, they have. All right, guys. Well, I got to get my ass in gear here so I can get to the 2 doctor's appointments. Thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you joining us. We had just planned on dropping a video today, but Crazy Bee found out some information and we decided to go live. Thank you for bearing with us while we did when a word or something seemed a little bit off, or we
did our research as we went.
Yes. And if there's anything that you find that we don't have, please feel free to drop it in the Discord. And if you haven't joined already, please do so. You can then contact us either directly through the Discord or send us a DM, private DM, and you can let us know if you don't want your name mentioned. We won't share it. If you do, that's even better. So with that being said, today is Thursday. We will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then don't forget, next week, we're going to do our new scheduling. However, that with the Clintons testifying, that's actually next week, I believe, Crazy Bee, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. The end of February already. So we will see what time that is and do our best, as Crazy Bee said, to get in there and cover what they have to say regarding the Epstein files. So we'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. then.
Sounds like a great plan.
That was a long outro, wasn't it?
It is what it is. But I go with my usual: stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and early afternoon, because it's only 11 o'clock on Central Time, and morning if you go further west.
There you go. Yep.
We'll catch y'all later.